Hello and welcome. This is going to be a reading for today's portal, which is 10/20/2020. And I think I'm going to call it like the Master Chariot portal or something along those lines, because 10 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 70. And we break that down to 7, which is the Chariot card, but it's also, well, I mean, to the power of 10, right? And it really, really amplifies that energy. And the Chariot is, it's interestingly enough, it's mostly related to Cancer, but also related to Leo. And it's kind of that cusp energy in there. It's very much about personal power and momentum. And because in the numerology you're not going to necessarily see uprights or reversals, I'm feeling the sense that there is both sides of that, and we're probably all kind of feeling pulled in two different directions. Well, no, you know what, that's what I'm going to say. Some of us are feeling pulled in two different directions. Like, it feels like the horses or the sphinxes are trying to pull us apart from the middle. And that's, if you've not done a lot of your shadow work, then that's probably what it's going to feel like. And others may be feeling like it's good momentum. Like, if you've been practicing good vibrations and self-care, self-sufficiency, self-love, things like that, doing your shadow work, you're probably feeling like you're going in a good direction. It might feel like a slow trot, especially with this Mercury retrograde energy, but it's going. And the reversal side of the Chariot is, you may be noticing old business coming up. You may be like dealing with some of the shadowy cobwebs of healing that are still left in there. Or if you're really in the funhouse mirrors still in this karmic carnival, you may find that you're just feeling you've got all this old business coming up. You might have, this portal might bring about people that you hadn't thought of in a while, that you have old business with, or maybe that they have old business with you. There could be, I get the sense of a fair amount of apology energy, because this is still technically Libra season. There's some justice energy too, and there's been, I'm pretty sure I put it in one of the other readings, there's been a fair amount of energy of like police, which is interestingly enough related to the Chariot card, but that is definitely justice and peacekeeping and things like that. And Libra itself is mostly connected to the justice card too, so there's a balancing of energy, and a lot of it's coming through this karmic carnival Scorpio energy that's just flooding all of our senses and taking us very, very deep. There was a couple of songs that I channeled, and like they're in and out. Queen, I Want to Break Free, and Honeybee, Head and the Heart. And it's funny that I Want to Break Free song. I had that in my mind, and then I heard it in two different stores that I went into too. I want to break free, right? So there is some of that energy, and what's interesting too is a lot of the songs and a lot of the other collective things that are coming up, both in readings and what I'm sensing from other people and what's in the vibration. Interestingly enough, matches the weekly reading I did, where like the hot topic is love and new emotions, flowing emotions, and the connection to the I was going to call it the vocal chakra, but the throat chakra opening up. So there may be some more communication coming either today or from the energy from today. There may be some sort of a breakthrough that creates an ability to have communication with those that you've either not been able to have, or if you've been having trouble communicating, doing things like that, that may come through. Now, I have pulled some cards already. Now that we've done a little bit of the numerology in there, please check out the weekly reading for more of the astrology part. So I've got 3 Rider-Waite cards. They're all in reverse, interestingly enough. And also on the bottom of the deck, we have the 7 of Pentacles reversed, and we have in here the 7 of Swords reversed. So remember that 7 energy, because the 7s are also connected. It's 7s are typically about pause and reflection, and also about momentum and spiritual growth. It's a number of wisdom. It's that speak once, listen twice sort of energy. Now, interestingly enough, with these cards, because we have the 8 of Swords reversed, This one is about breaking free from your own mental prisons, or from the court of public opinion. Like if somebody else has been trying to keep you bound to them, usually through crazy making and fear tactics and things like that, you'll probably be breaking free of them. Maybe not physically, but at least in your head and your heart. Or if you've been keeping yourself in a mental prison through like anxiety, things like that, it's a good time to disassociate from that label and start working on that shadow work. And you're probably already doing so, and that, this is you breaking free from that. And the Seven of Swords, interestingly enough, in reverse, is about consequences, like facing the consequences of our actions. Typically, in upright, this card is like a cheater, a manipulator, and/or there's some good energy. It's about strategy and things like that, but typically it's a manipulative card, especially being related to the swords. And so in reverse, it's facing the consequences of that, which to me really fits in with the police energy and even the karma energy that's been going on in this karmic carnival. And then lastly, we have the Page of Swords in reverse, which is kind of it's a little bit of rebellion, but it's also kind of the energy of somebody who is lurking or spying and not with good intent. And it could be, it's an immature energy. It could be somebody being spiteful. It can be kind of negative connotations of Scorpio energy, actually, even though it's related to it's the swords card, which is related to the air element, and actually it's the earthiest sword card. It's kind of related to Taurus energy too, but in reverse like that, it is very like, it's some of the more unevolved energy of the Scorpio side, to where like if we're feeling envious or jealous or possessive and we don't quite feel powerful enough to take action or to speak up, or maybe we put ourselves in a situation where the consequences are watching somebody glow up, and it's making us feel envious, or watching them go out and have a good time with people who are not us, and it's because we've been keeping ourselves trapped in a mental prison. So what these cards are telling me is that a lot of the momentum for all of us in this Chariot gate, Master Chariot gate, is really coming in to show us the consequences of our own mental prisons, which really fits in with that funhouse mirrors metaphor. Interesting enough, let me know in the comments if it's you who's spying on somebody and feeling that way, or if it's somebody if you think it's somebody lurking on you. Also be aware there is a fair amount of, as a lot of karmic cycles come to a close, which includes if you've got a twin flame and they're in a karmic situationship, or even just you have friends that have been in seemingly karmic relationships where it's been fairly toxic, or just like the abundance is just not flowing through because it's not meant to go that way. You might start noticing more people kind of freaking out as they see themselves moving forward alone, or freaking out in the process of the momentum of breakups happening, or you might even have energy coming towards you. I know a lot of readers, in fact, there's been an increase of people coming on and being upset about like loving and light messages, and talking about going towards healing paths and things like that. And then a lot of that is because there are a lot of people that are fighting against the funhouse mirrors and not really wanting to recognize their own karma, and that it's not a judgment, it's an energy thing. You're not a bad person, just work on yourself. Self-love is what's going to get you there anytime. And interestingly enough, if you are the karmic or a karmic in a twin flame relationship with someone who has a twin flame that is not you, recognize that you actually have a twin flame out there, and that the person you're with has been your karmic, and holding on to them is keeping you from your twin flame. And the only way for anybody in any sort of twin flame journey to get there happily ever after is self-love. That's all. You have to be able to feel good inside and outside of any sort of relationship or dynamic, whether you're supported or not, whether you're rich or poor, any of that stuff. That's how you get there. Anyways, the homophone card we got, bored in reverse. Yeah, she does not look like she's having fun. And now boredom to me in upright is not a bad thing. It sparks creativity and ingenuity and things like that. But this to me speaks more to being stir crazy and not comfortable, and probably put in a position where you don't have, either you don't have access to like tools and toys and things to be creative with, or that you're stagnant and you're stuck in some kind of situation that is very unsatisfying, and it feels like maybe it's, maybe it's some of this energy, that it feels like you're stuck, that you can't get out of it. Like maybe you're in a relationship where you feel like you'd like to move but you don't have the money, or you'd like to come towards somebody but you don't feel good enough, or maybe you want to end a relationship but you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Like a lot of that is shadow stuff you got to work on. This is more that Scorpio energy, and so is this, like putting us in situations where we are completely dissatisfied so that we can see how we are making ourselves dissatisfied, you know. Also, this is, interestingly enough, this card has connotations with actual kink and bondage, and because it is coming upon Scorpio season, and because Libra season has all to do with intimacy, I have no doubts that there'll probably be some sort of kink type energy going on in everybody's vibration, especially with today being 10/20/2020. Now we got the Shaman card from the Shaman Oracle, and it says completion. And it's a very interesting card. It's got all the chakra colors on it, and they're using the drum to clear, to call in spirits. I believe it's a hawk that's behind it, but it's very phoenix-like too. And we've got the Eye of Ra, the sun, a whip, and concentric circles, and the bear. And they're dancing too, which is a ceremonial thing too. And what I'm really feeling called to is, remember that we're supposed to walk in a good way at all times, not just in special moments. Like the vibration that you practice most often is the one that's going to come in most often, especially with today being all about momentum. Like the vibration you practice, if you talk crap to yourself consistently every day, then you're going to feel like crap. And that momentum is going to gain until you get so tired of your own shit that you break free from it. You feel the consequences of self-deception, and you break free from it. I want to break free, right? And if you've been allowing yourself to be around people where your boundaries are constantly disrespected or broken and things like that, that energy is going to increase until you can't stand it anymore, and you have to stand in your authenticity and truth and hold your boundaries. The same thing if you've not been authentic, even if you've not been like overtly lying or really even doing anything wrong, if you've just not been being true to who you are, there's going to be more situations where you have to question, do I be true to who I am, or do I withhold it to not hurt someone's feelings, or to not look bad, or to not, just things of that nature that momentum will gain. Whereas if you've been authentic, that momentum's going to gain, and you're probably going to see a little bit of limelight for it, and things of that nature. And this is related to the World card in the Rider-Waite Tarot completion. So it could be, I have a sense that, especially with the other cards that we got, that this energy is really driving us forward to completing a chapter that we've been going through, likely since last Samhain, which had been October 21st. And so we're hearing the drums of, the drums of war, right? The drums of the karmic carnival coming in, saying it is time to close the chapter that has been going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be endings, but typically an ending and a beginning, death and rebirth, right? And that Scorpio season is all about that death and rebirth stuff. Now we got, for our Divine Circus card, the Brilliant Virgin. Number 5, which is definitely change energy. She's in a prayerful sort of situation. She almost, she almost reminds me of somebody, like, it's a mixture between somebody who's getting married or somebody who is, like, praying. I get kind of the Scorpio death energy around it, almost like she's at a funeral in a weird sort of way. She's got a lot of, I don't well, they might be cabbage butterflies, but they kind of speak to me as moth energy, though. Um, a lot of lace around her. I kind of get the sense that this card is a very Virgo card, but I get the sense that this is very the prostitute and the virgin sort of energy. Like there's probably one side of her that is very virginal, and the other side which is actually very fake to that, like giving off the image of that. But I have not read this card yet, so let's see what it says. Also, 5 is related to the Hierophant, so I'm kind of not surprised to see them put it as a virgin on there. Let's see. Brilliant Virgin. In a world where we are bombarded daily by differing opinions and ideas, remaining true to you and your own point of view is nothing short of brilliant. Let go of confusion, distortion, comparison, and compromise. You do not need to compare yourself to another or measure up to anyone or anything else. What matters to you in your successful life journey is to be in touch with your own truths. You know what you feel, no matter what anyone else says or believes. Stay true to you. Which, doesn't that fit? It's so funny. That fits with what I was just saying, right? You need to be bold of heart and have a lot of faith when there is an idea within us yet to be manifested in the world. We have to trust in what we see in our hearts, even if sometimes the eyes in our heads see things rather differently. We have to trust that inner vision, the hope, the dream within us, is going to be strong enough and stand the rigors of birth and be able to come to life in the world. Sometimes we have to trust that we are enough, that we have goodness, value, and worth, and so are worth the time, effort, patience, and commitment required to transform ideas into realities. The oracle of the brilliant virgin brings you a message. Stay true to you and your course. Do not allow yourself to be swayed by another, no matter how well-meaning their intentions may be or how impressive their arguments may seem. You see, know, feel, believe in something that is good, pure, and true that needs to come to life in this world. It is meant to be original, so people may not get it straight away. It is meant to happen through you because you understand it in a way that others may not. This could be a choice to do with health, lifestyle, relationship, money, or work. It could also be a project, an idea, a creative expression, dream, or vision that you are growing in your heart. There are times when it's wise to open up to creative collaboration and to compromise for a group venture to move ahead. This is not one of those times. Don't be afraid. Some people believe that unless you compromise, success cannot happen. This is not true for you at this time, so do not water down the strength of your vision, your dream. You are meant to be birthing something unique into being. The world needs your originality. Pray for courage and trust yourself. Yes. So, I think that was very fitting. I love those cards. Sometimes it's fun too to get a new deck like that, and then to see how it matches up with the other cards that got pulled in. And I think that really fits with that boredom energy too. Is that we've had a lot of our comfort zone shaken up, and we'll continue to have it shaken up. And so a lot of this momentum energy is really pushing us into our individuality, which we need to be able to have a healthy individuality, to be individuated, to be separated from our mother and our father and our family, our families, so that we can become who we are and then reconnect with them on a much healthier level than we have before. All right, so this is a longer video than I meant it to be, but I hope that you enjoy it for the Master Chariot portal. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for sharing, and watching.